A new year has started and there are new developments on the SoftScale channel. You might have noticed that we have a new series with an entirely new format and there's something to celebrate. More about that in the new channel update. Welcome to the SoftScale channel. My name is Sebastian Jung and I welcome you to the channel update Winter 2025. There have been not so many recent videos on the channel. I apologize for that, but we are still continuing the channel. The channel is still alive, so it's time for a little update. I move those onto the side for a moment. We will get back to them later. We will start with a short look back at the recent videos. We had 3 videos since the last channel update. The first of those, I correct myself, we had 2 videos on the English channel since the last channel update, which were part 1 and part 2 of our new series, our new format, Work in Progress, where I don't present finished research, finished exploration of a topic, but where we explore a topic together step by step. We had the first 2 parts of this series, and the topic we are dealing with in this first series, in this first attempt, is narcissism. In the first part, I summarized my previous knowledge and figured out what we want to know about the topic, what we want to find out. And this is a good approach if you are dealing with a new topic. You gather your previous knowledge, you ask yourself, what do I already know about it? And then you come up with questions. You ask yourself, what specifically do I want to know? And this will help you in your research when you are checking videos, articles, and so on. The second part of our series dealt with the question, what is narcissism actually? And that was quite a difficult question to answer. I didn't foresee this, but finding a proper definition, finding a proper explanation was quite hard. I'd say a few more words about this new format a bit later. So, what's new in regard to the channel overall? Now, the very first topic is one we hadn't planned. You might have noticed that this video looks a bit different than the previous ones. And the reason is that the camera we usually use for our videos has broken down. It is kaput. It doesn't work anymore. Yeah, so as a makeshift emergency solution, we are recording this video using a smartphone, and my poor girlfriend volunteered to hold this phone for the duration of the video, so thanks a lot for your help here. We were only doing this because it's a channel update. We thought, all right, instead of not doing the video at all, we will do this makeshift solution. Yeah, we will figure out what we do in the future later, because yeah, we discovered that the camera is broken just a couple of minutes ago. So we will see. But let's proceed to more fun, more happy topics. As I said before, we have something to celebrate. A while back, the English channel has reached and surpassed 1,000 subscribers. And that's quite a happy occasion. It was end of September 24 that we passed this mark. We've progressed a bit more since then, and we are quite happy about that. So thanks a lot for your support. Here's to you. Now, I know the English channel is a bit troubled. As you noticed, there haven't been that many recent videos. Production has slowed down a bit, and of course this has hit the English channel a bit harder even than the German one, because as you might know, there are some videos, for example, if I present a book by a German author that has not been translated into English, where I won't create an English version of the video because it would make no sense. Why should I present a book that you can't actually read yourself? So I only do this in rare exceptions. So bottom line is, the English channel has received even fewer videos than the German one. As you noticed in my small hiccup mistake earlier, the German channel has gotten 3 videos in the past few months, the English channel even only 2. So yeah, the slowdown in video production has hit the English channel even harder than the German one. And of course you have to put up with my lackluster pronunciation, but I still like the English channel. I like the idea that basically people all over the world who can speak English can watch my videos, that I can have an international audience, and that is nice. I really like that. So I hope the English channel is continuing to grow, continuing to do well, and we will try to keep it going. Those have to move away for a bit. This we will eat later. Finally, I'd like to say a few words about that new format we have, the work in progress. Now it's a little experiment. The basic idea is that this new format allows me to tackle topics that I would not be able to cover otherwise. Like the narcissism topic we are doing now. Earlier, if I had a look at narcissism, I would have said, oh, no way. I can't do a video about that. I would need half a year or more of research for a 30-minute or even less video. This is just not possible. But as a work in progress, where we discover the topic together in small steps, I can do it. And I think this is very nice because it broadens the array of available topics to us. I also hoped that this work in progress videos would be easier to produce, less work, but this is not how it turned out. The first part, that was pretty alright, but the second part took quite a lot of work, so we will see about that. The second part was quite a difficult video overall. As I told you, I really started this work in progress without doing a lot of research beforehand. So I really dove into the cold water. I really started fresh with a blank slate. And so it's obvious that I stumbled upon problems here and there. I was a bit frustrated that in the very first part I didn't have this clear distinction between narcissism as a personality trait and narcissism as a mental disorder, the narcissistic personality disorder. And I was a bit frustrated. I had missed that in the first part, but it wasn't part of my previous knowledge. I only discovered it later, and I think this is part of the natural progression when you deal with a new topic, so it's probably all right. Yeah, it's an experiment, so we will have to figure out if this makes sense, if this is feasible. it's a bit of a problem that I talk about a topic like narcissism without knowing a lot about it, but honestly I have to say I don't know that much about the other topics either. Some of you might have watched my video, what's it called? Can You Trust Me? I definitely recommend it and will link to it in the video description. It's a very nice video. Bottom line is I don't regard myself as an expert for the topics we deal with. Of course, I do try to do good research and present the facts to you as I have figured them out, as I have researched them, and I try to present everything correctly. But for example, if we deal with a topic like narcissism that touches the area of psychology, I haven't studied psychology, so I cannot call myself an expert in that field, and I won't want to do it because that would be pretty shady. Another issue is that, obviously, as it turns out, the videos might be less fun, less relaxing to watch like the usual ones, because what we're usually going for is an experience like, oh, this complicated topic doesn't seem so bad. Now that he's explained it to me, I can understand it. It's easier than I thought. And the work in progress has so far turned out more like, oh God, this is complicated. I don't understand any of it so far. We've made a little bit of progress. Slowly scraping together a bit of knowledge. And some sections of the recent videos have turned out a bit dry, like where I go through the definitions from the DSM-5, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for mental disorders, with you and read them to you. Basically, this might be a bit boring, but if I had summarized them, some information obviously would have been lost, and everything was so vague to begin with that I didn't want to distort it any further. Overall, I think it makes sense to honestly show the troubles, the problems you have to deal with when you start fresh with a new topic and start to get into it, start to get a basic understanding. And I think it's interesting to do this together. Of course, I'm also interested to hear what you think about this new format, this new series. Please let me know in the video description. Have you watched any of the work in progress videos? How did you like them? I'm quite interested in your feedback. Yeah, finally, the classics, the topics we always talk about. Number of videos and ratio of video production. As always, I'd like to do more videos, but it's difficult to find the time. I would like to get back to at least one video per month. I hope I can do that, but if I have a look at my calendar, at my plans for the first half of 2025, I see that it's pretty crowded in regard to my work, that I have a lot of stuff to do, so I can't promise anything. The monetization of the channel, like always, it is planned, it will come at some point, but not yet. To join the YouTube Partner Program, you need a specific watch time. You need 4,000 hours of watch time per month. We are at 3,900, so we are always a little bit below what we need. Yeah, so it might take a bit more time. Let's have a short preview. This is, like always, just a bit of what might come. This is not fixed. There is no hard plan for the next videos. But what is pretty certain to come is a video about the Pareto principle. because I've already started working on that and started writing a script, and so this will most likely be the next video we publish, the Pareto principle. And of course, our series on biases and fallacies will be continued. I don't know yet which bias or fallacy we will cover next, but there will be more videos in that regard. We will also have further book reviews, which is also a popular series on the channel. A likely candidate for the next one is this book here by Schulz von Thun, Inghard Langer and Reinhard Tausch. It is, again, a book that is only available in German, but I think I will still create an English version of the video as well. The title is, how would you translate that? Expressing yourself clearly, something like that. How do you have to talk? How do you have to write in order to be easily understood by others? Another topic I plan to deal with sooner or later is progressive muscle relaxation, a technique for relaxation. Obviously, I read a German book, Easy Relax, English title, but it's only available in German, that deals with the progressive muscle relaxation, and I got the original book by Jacobson. Edmund Jacobson is the man who came up with progressive muscle relaxation. His book is originally an English book, however I couldn't find the English version in Germany, so I've bought the German one. But of course there will be an English version of that video because the original is English. But I haven't read that book yet, so progressive muscle relaxation will come at some point, but it will probably take a bit more time. Finally, I've got a little tidbit, a little curious find for you. I came upon a term, a concept I didn't know yet, and that is the floating duck syndrome. I stumbled upon that in a German article that will be of no use to you, but I will briefly explain what it's about. Floating duck syndrome. So, if you see a duck and it is swimming on a pond, it seems to glide along easily, effortlessly. But what we don't see is that below the waterline, this duck is using its feet to paddle and to propel itself forward, and it's putting a lot of work into this gliding that seems so easy, but we only see the gliding, we don't see the hard work. And similarly, there are people, maybe people we know, people in our surroundings, that seem to be able to deal with their daily lives effortlessly. Maybe we know some guy or some lady who has a difficult job, a demanding job, and has also family, children, and maybe some social engagement, social activities and whatnot, and they seem to be able to deal with all of that so easily, and so they appear to be always relaxed. But there as well, the truth is that they probably put a lot of hard work into that, and we just don't see this hard work because they don't show it to you. And I think this concept of the floating duck syndrome, this term and this idea fits our modern world very well, because in social media we always have this issue that everybody else seems to be more beautiful, more successful, seems to spend all their time at nice vacation spots, and they have more money, more fun and whatnot. And the truth is that they only show us a small fragment of their lives, the fragment that looks best, that is most enjoyable, and that we don't see other people's sadness and depressions and frustration and their their failures and so on. So I think this floating duck syndrome is a nice concept to know. Well, that's it for today. Thanks a lot for sticking with us, sticking with Soft Skills English. I hope you enjoy the videos, even if there aren't that many recently. We will continue the channel and we hope you keep, stay on board. That's it for today. We will see each other in the next video. For today, I take my leave. Have a nice day. See you next time.